Why we are here. We are looking for an extension to the flood, thus to antediluvian times and texts. Atlantis. This is for confirmation first, and subsequently greater discovery as to who they were and what they were. What we are specifically looking for, the keep of Japheth, one of the sons of Noah, though it must be pointed out this is our name for them, and that there are other names as well. What led us to this spot? My researches in various lesser-known libraries for more obscure texts. I have been researching this for more than 30 years, indexing and cross-referencing the aforementioned obscurities, building a case. For most of those years, it was as the horizon, retreating as I advanced. Quit now. It has consumed your life, and you are no closer to finding it than you were at the beginning. Now the hours seem as minutes, the archer with only a few arrows remaining as the seconds run. It is the patient refrain that seems to be picking up speed, but it is not, just volume. Then I was shown some texts by a source that shall remain anonymous, that pointed me in a new direction, that began a string of minor successes, which as they compiled, led to an area to search for a new site. Location, the frontier between Iraq and Turkey. It is not far removed from Agradagi, not even 200 miles. But can you imagine the significance of that distance directly after the deluge? Well, I digress. Suffice it to say that we are under the influence of the occupational authority. It is our stated belief that Atlantis did exist, and to a certain extent still does. It was a drier earth, the water of the Atlantic only, and that gathered in an ellipsoid body at the center of which was the island of Atlantis, remembering that its size was comparable to Australia. On the shores of this ocean were 10 kingdoms, because in the last days of that empire, the old kingdom, or homeland, was polluted, and it was said it poisoned those that went there. Also at this time there were 2 moons in orbit around the Earth. They were called the Sisters. One was our moon, and the other a comet, and at this time it is very much too soon to speculate on the origins of Atlantis. Many of the books are of a very general nature, gardening, cooking, sewing, canning, brewing, venting, etc., but very little of the cultural issues. We've yet to find anything like a book of or on philosophy. No books of their laws or architecture, no histories, biographies, only this dice game. So many journals of their endless castings. 2 whole rooms of them, shelf upon shelf of personal readings, handwritten and printed. It will be a very odd lens to view that time through. We can't be certain of things like we might had we found histories for example, or even some novels. The flood is gray, a slight roll, clouds low and uniform to the horizon. We have all the hatches open, and the ripeness of the boat fills all the air between the hem of the sky and the lift of the sea. I will generally take most of the watches as the rest stay in their cabins below. Mother keeps the kitchen bright and full of the savory of breads and soups. She attired the quarters with roses, but still the press of thousands of animals is present every minute, for it is a floating farm, and the air of it heavy. The smoke of the hearth and kitchen fires wrap the ark today, the 333rd day of the flood. These are a series of emails I sent to R.D. Land from J. Christopher. First, subject, return date. I will be brief. I'm very excited by the potential of this site. Have some very small artifacts I will bring with me. Have made some drawings for you. We must plan this carefully. More later. Take care. P.S. I will be back this week, Friday sometime. Second message. Subject, good news. Met with appropriate people and request was favorably received. We must keep the lowest possible profile on this for a while. Third email. Subject, home again, home again. I'm going to the map library before coming over to your place. I am famished. I know I can count on you for dinner. Thanks. We'll be there by 7. Fourth email. Subject, reminder. Remember, no one knows of this, and it must remain so, at the very least until the dig is permitted and established. Okay. Later email. Subject, Marco P. He is this, he is, and this is his own description, a bastard with a little bit of everything in him. What are you? and he makes this gesture that is mild rebuke. I told you so, and it's all right. I'll give him this. He's a fine mutt, solid heart. He is always able to find a blood connection with, and I mean this, everyone. I am connected to him through the cousins of Joseph of A. Sixth email. Subject: Issus. We have hit a serious block at the frontier. Marco is confident, though. I have used the time well in local libraries. This is one of the great sadnesses, that more people will not travel and witness for themselves. Computers, the net, it makes everything very easy to stay home. How would your youth have been changed had you these tools? Do you ever think about that, R.D.? Back to the libraries. One in particular, Ozzy Farouk runs it. There are still, even now, thank the Almighty, whole new histories opened up to us. I go to his place, we drink coffee, and talk for several hours. He prays, then the hookah is fired and his tobacco taken. It is very mild, unlike the coffee, which is very mean and sweet. After which he goes to his desk, and I am allowed to use the library. Like I said, I learned some new things, but none touching on our expedition. I did, however, gather some confirmations on some previous information and sources about where to look. R.D. Land, sir. Greetings and salutations. Hope this finds you in good health and spirits. Thought you might enjoy looking over this latest discovery you have made possible. In this package are one set of Selinari. They are the oracle of what we think of as Atlantis. When you approach this matter, it is imperative to remember that these are the drafts of translations, often the first one. Secondly, we are focused on one man's journals at this point. As with all oracles, there will be many different interpretations. I think of it in this way. There is no such thing as an untrue oracle. There is only the untrue interpretation. I have started in the earliest of his works and moved with him through the rest of his career. That has been a quick read through several manuscripts. Remember, we are very certain that this excavation is the keep of Japheth. I do not believe, though, that these are the works of Japheth. Oracles can say a great deal about the people that use them. Remember, by all accounts, this culture flowed from something grander, more noble, truly ancient. I hope that you find this as interesting an exercise as I do. More to follow soon. Email. Subject: Jennifer's discovery. We now have a more benign entry point. Jennifer thought it would be a good idea to survey further up the slope from the portal in a cardinal direction, then found tiles exposed, roof tiles. We're going to dig this carefully, hopefully invisibly as well. We have cut a revetment on the back side, upslope. We will get down to the wall and tunnel forward. We are digging at a remarkable place for archaeologists. Tangent. More gloves if you could. Leather. We have sampled the air, and we will send you that. We have sampled the air, and we will send that out to your labs by DHL. You have the daybook, so you will know what it comes labeled as. I am most anxious to hear the results. That means entry into the keep itself. I am certain you wish you were here. I will lead the team in. We are going in clean and masked rebreathers. This trip in will be a survey with minimal removal. What a rich find. It is definitely pre-deluge. We took a number of good photos. We'll send them encrypted via sat phone. I believe it is the entire library. You know whose we were looking for. I think we have found it. We will have to be certain, so more examinations coming up. We are at it for 6 hours the suits are good for, then we spend 6 hours cataloging. Then over late supper we discuss and speculate. I know our discussions, you and me, have treated with the issue of how often the ordinary man's true dream is realized. I am still having trouble getting my mind around how fortunate we are. And tomorrow again.